Alright, well, I've been away for a little bit. Had to go up to English for a couple of days. I got myself set up here. And I'm starting to cut the pieces in to hold the walls. It's going to be like the corner right there. And this section here is going to be where the door is. That'll be the front wall. And then the side wall will go over this. You can see where I'm kind of laying it in now. And of course I'm taking all my good notes. I'm going to transform all these notes onto a nice draft paper, and if anybody wants it, well, it'll be available. You can reproduce what I've got going here without any trouble. And in the meantime, I'm about to cut the board that's going to go from here through here, and then the jog around the tire, and then down back. Crowns up, bows out. Whoops. Gotta double check it now. That's good. From here there's going to be a little piece up, a piece across, and our side will go on. Now I gotta get this piece.
Talking to yourself again?
Yeah.
Coffee's ready.
Alright, right there.
You can let it cool for a minute.
42 5/8.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to be, now that I got all my 2x2s down for the base, for the wall, I'm going to use 2.5-inch screws to hold these pieces in place. Eventually I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some bolts here and there to make sure that the wall is firmly connected to this under piece, the base of the trailer. But to hold it all while I'm working on it, I'm just going to put a couple screws here and there so I can get my structure made, and then I'm going to take them out, lay it down, do all my finished work, and then reassemble them afterwards. So that's what this is all about. I'm just going to put one screw in here to hold it in place while I work. Whoops. Wrong drill. There. It's just to hold it in place while I work. I'm going to do the same thing to this little piece here, this jog here. I like to put a little pilot hole in, makes it easier, get it in, stay in the right place. Make sure it's all lined up proper. Gotta be where I need it to be, and hold it in place. Yeah, I ain't gotta go nowhere. Now I'm just gonna continue on all around the whole trailer until I got it all locked in. And then we'll be back. Okay, I've gone all the way around. I'm working on these two pieces next. And then I gotta put these top pieces in here and over there. And I'm gonna be good. The biggest key is to make sure that it's all flushed up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be as close to flush, because you don't want to be fighting with things later on. Alright. No, I didn't like that. I'm going to go this way here. air conditioner is going to go right here. That's the spot for my air conditioning. Alright, the next step will be to put some vertical pieces in here so that I can start assembling the wall. And I'm going to make this back piece here is the back wall here is my first project. And let me show you something. I bought these windows from Mobile Home Depot. They're 14 inches high and they're 36 inches wide. They were $65 each, and they make my work a lot easier. On the back side, there's a screen. You flip this open and you can move the window back and you got the air. Close it back up and lock it. This is the easiest thing to assemble. Later on, when I'm all done, I just pop these into my holes. I'm going to put 3 of these on this trailer, and my windows are done. The last trailer I made, I built all these. There was too much work. So I'm going to show you here over the wheel well. What I've done was I'm using 2x2. I cut 2 2-inch blocks, and then this goes over the distance between them, which is 25 1/4. That's going to cover my wheel well. I've got a little bit of clearance, and the wall that I put on the outside will go right on there. That's how it's going to hold it in place. Eventually I'll put a 45-degree angle in here to help fortify it. How I'm going to hold it in place? Good old wood glue. I'm going to use waterproofing wood glue. And then in the end, when it's all said and done, I'm going to use Lansco, a rubber. It's a black rubber that they sell for $40. And I'm going to put it all over the inside of this so that any water that would seep into this area once it's all boxed in, it's going to just hit all rubber. Inside here, it's going to be completely rubber. So I don't have to worry about anything creating a problem for me. Just going to put this on like this. This is a waterproof, or at least water-resistant glue. Shouldn't matter because it's going to be deep inside the walls. Once it's bonded, it should be better bonding than the wood itself. And to kind of temporarily hold it in place, I'm going to use these clamps. And shortly, about an hour or so, these things will be all set. And I'll be able to take this apart. And that ain't going anywhere. So that's going to be that. That's going to be that. Alright. On over here and put this one on. The better you line everything up now, the easier it is later. So take a little bit of pain to put it all in one place, but it'll help me on the next step. It doesn't have to be too tight, just the glue's going to find its place and it's going to hold everything together. That's it for this side. Remove any excess glue. I just rub it off so it's flat. I don't want any problem with big nodules of glue later on. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and this part of this deal is finished. Then I'm going to mark my 12-inch centers, because I'm going to put little strapping, 1.5 inch by 1 inch boards to hold my panels to. You'll see as we go along. It'll be the next step. First we'll get the corners in. I used the bandsaw. I got a couple pieces of 2x4, and what I did was I just kind of put it in there roughly where it's going to go with some space, because you don't want it to be banging and rattling or anything. About like that. Drew out the design there. Do the same thing over here. That's good. Then what I did do is add a little bit of support for the side panel. When the side panel goes on over the fender, it'll be adding support. Don't forget all the cut off wood you use it for your next campfire when you're out there burning out the wood. Use that wood up. So then it's just going to put a couple more screws in here and that's it. Furious. That's it. Done. Love it. Can't wait to go camping. Well, hello again. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. I forgot to turn on the recorder here. But all I did was essentially I cut the pieces. I made like an I-beam right here. This is going to be on the top. I made one for the left side and the right side. This channel here is where I'm going to run all my wires. So it will go in this way, and then all my wires will run underneath there for my electrical system up and down the sides of my trailer. Same thing on that side. And I put my verticals in. I'm holding the verticals in place with a couple of clamps like that. In the back, down here, I used a 45 or a 90-degree clamp, and then I put a screw in here just to kind of hold it. It's not super strong yet, but it gets stronger as you put each piece together. I'm about to put this piece on across the top, and what I've done already, I just started. I put 2 holes in there. Those 2 holes will go right at the top of this 2x3, right up there. Can't hardly see it, but eventually it'll go right up there, and that's going to be part of my roof piece that holds my roof on. I put my front piece in place. It's going to be the front of the trailer, and you can see that I cut this little piece of wood out here, and the reason for this is I'm going to just show you. This is not the right piece of plywood, but you get the idea. My piece of plywood is going to be on this side, will come right in here like that. It'll come out to here, and then the piece that goes 45 degrees up will be going right in there like that, up to the roof part. That's coming. You'll see as I go along. I'll put it all together, but anyways, that's that piece. Goes all the way across. It's exactly the same length as the bottom, 6 feet, and I'm just going to connect it up. For right now, I'm kind of working on that piece over there that's going to go on this side of the trailer at the top. I'm right at the top of my limits here, but my garage door is right there. I don't want to get too much higher. Alright, for now, that's good. Yeah, I started putting all my verticals on, filling in all the pieces I need to fill in for my sheets as they go up. It's just building the box. It's very simple. It's just going to be a big empty box. Okay, I've got 3 vertical pieces. These are all 57 inches. As you can see, I've started to work on the walls. I'm building a big empty box, and I'm using a 1.5-inch stock. Any place where there's windows, I'm using a 2x2. On the corners, I'm using a 2x3. I'm tacking a little piece on here so I have a place to nail my finished panels on the inside, and of course these are for putting all things on the outside. And I'm cutting these verticals right now. It's just 1x stock. It's just to hold everything in place while you put up the sidewalls. I've got 12 inches. Every 12 inches I'm putting in a vertical piece. Alright, I started experimenting, putting my window in. Can't really see it too well, but I'm kind of have it clipped in here right now. I'm experimenting with exactly how high to make it on the walls, and we come up with this idea. We've got it about 32 inches roughly from the floor and up, and when you sit next to it in a chair, I put that chair there, it's just right for looking outside. So I think we're going to stick with that. We're just kind of playing games and experimenting right now, but that's what I think we're going to end up doing. A couple more days we ought to be putting a shell on this. Very interesting. A lot of fun. Alright. I've got some of my wall places in here now, and I'm getting ready to start working on the ceiling, or the roof rather. And I'm just showing you, these are I made these openings for these 36-inch wide and 14-inch high windows. They're sliders. I bought those not too far away from here, and they're ideal for what I'm building here. I put all my 2x2s and 1x stock in, and this is how my front is looking. You can't really see it all that well, but if I step back here, you can see the front, how it's starting to look. It's all coming together pretty well. I've got my angle pieces for the roof. I'm just going to put those on shortly. I've got some pieces that I laminated out to make that happen. And that's going to go in there. It's going to be a 45 degrees up there, and then I'm going to just run my 2x4s, not 2x4s, but 2x2s across for my roof, or ceiling and roof, and I should be done at that point. My son is supposed to come by shortly, this week sometime anyways, and we're going to start putting the sides on and seeing how that all goes. It should be a lot of fun. One thing we've decided to do, talking to my wife, she thought, let's put this roof, not the roof but the door, make this door considerably higher. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the door way up there so that the door will be a huge opening, and we'll use that stool right there to get up inside. So that's a change, another change. We'll see how well that works out. We'll get back to you. Well, as you can see, we painted it green. Bright, bright green. I should have been a little darker, but my wife thinks this green is wonderful. I'm not too keen on this much bright green, but what the heck. I guess it's okay. But you can see it's starting to work out pretty well. I just gotta put one more coat. Right now I'm working on the roof. I'm putting a rubber compound on the roof. It's a liquid. Let me see if I can get up on the top here and show you. There it is. It's blue. It's a Lansco rubber, and you put on 3 or 4 coats of this stuff, it turns into a rubber roof. And then after this, you've got to add, it stays dark and it's not UV protected, so you got to put on it in the end a Lansco elastomer, which is white and it's UV protected. This is what we're putting on right now. It's called Aquaproof. And then when that's all done, we're going to put on Lansco. When it's all done, we're going to be putting on this stuff, siliconizer. And it waterproofs also, but the thing is, this stuff is it's white, goes on a little blue, and then it cures in the sun and turns white. and that'll reflect the heat from the sun away, but it's also waterproofing. So it's just, I'm gonna have like 6 layers of waterproofing up there. It'll be beautiful. So that's where we're at right now. Just gonna put at least one more coat of green when I'm all done, because some of the black gets over the top. There's gonna be molding anyways on most of it. But one more coat of green, hang the windows and start working on the doors. Today we'll also be gonna be working on the inside panels. I got them cut out, and we're gonna start varnishing them today and putting them in tomorrow. It's getting pretty close to done. We're also gonna put styrofoam, polystyrofoam as an installation. So that's where we're at now. We'll get back to you. Well, again, this wasn't easy, but we went to Homer's place down there for the insulation. We bought some 1-inch styrofoam insulation, Artec, and we put it in. Oh my goodness gracious, it was a pain in the neck cutting all these little pieces in. There was styrofoam balls everywhere. But we had to put this in prior to putting the panels on, which we've already kind of finished the panels. They're already cut out and varnished. So all we've got to do is start slapping them in. But prior to that, we got to do a little bit of work on the wiring. You know, we got to make sure all the wires reach everything. So the next step in this case is to put one last coat of green paint on the outside of this thing. And because we sealed up the roof, I put 4 coats of black rubber, Lansco, and then 2 coats of Lansco elastomer. And the reason for the elastomer is it's white. It's UV protected. The dark or the black pro water resistant membrane that they put up there is not good with the sun. So by putting the UV protection stuff up on top of that, it gives me 6 layers of rubber on the roof and 2 layers of UV protected, sun protected topping. And I tell you what, when I touched the black stuff, when I was coating the roof with the black stuff, I would touch it in the sun. It was hot. And then I put that white elastomer up there, and it was cold. Big difference. Big difference. 30-40 degree difference. And we're hoping that this 1 inch of insulation will make a difference here too. We'll find out very soon. We'll be back. Alright, a lot of progress is getting made real fast here. Finally got all the paneling in, and the ceiling paneling, and got some of the electronics in, and we're pretty much getting done with it. On the inside panels, I used all screws to hold it on so I could take it off. I put this little power station in which follows the battery, and it's USB chargers for the phones and iPads and stuff. Got my windows in. I got the stuff for the TV set right there. That's the power switch that turns these DC on and off. Keep the power off so it don't kill the battery. Got my AC plugs in. I only got 2 of them, but I don't need more. My system electronics is going to be in here in a box. In the end, that's where that's headed. And the outside's looking pretty good. And I'm going to start putting on the molding today. Hopefully the molding will go well. I think I got it all figured out. It's just a few cuts, but I'm gonna have to put on some good molding. The plan is, not this weekend, but next weekend, the plan is to take it out camping for the first time. And I did make it just a whisker too tall. I only got 1 inch, inch and a half of clearance at the top. So when I put my dome vent on, I'm gonna have to put that on outside. And then I'm not gonna be able to bring this guy back inside without taking the dome off. But that's no problem. I'd rather have it a little higher because we can stand up in it. So if you want to change your clothes or something, you can stand up inside and do it. And by using all screws on the panels, you can take these down, you can get to the outside wall and change anything, like if you want to run more wires or something. is total access to the outside walls. Nice big box. It'll be really comfortable sleeping and hanging out in here. Alright, we'll be back. Well, it's been a while since I got back to this thing. I just got so busy trying to get this thing done because we got to head out for Texas and out west pretty soon. But I wanted to show you, we've got this thing pretty much down. We've got a refrigerator, an AC. We've got an articulating TV set there hooked up into the wall. We've got a shelf back there that holds a bunch of stuff. There's our beds. I have my bed over there. She has hers. That folds out from a chair. It becomes a bed. I love this control panel here. This control panel monitors our battery all the time. And it's a station where we can charge all our cell phones. That's a digital light. That's a light I could take outside or inside. We put a whole bunch of hooks up so we could all our hats and everything just hanging so we don't have a crowded in space. We've got our little porta potty just in case. You always have to have a case in case. And we've got an air conditioner down there. Over here I have a little thing where all my electronics is. I purchased this trickle charger, so if I'm on a system somewhere, I got 110 volts off the grid, I can flip a switch here, and this will charge my system. And if I'm off the grid and I'm out into the jungle, there's a solar panel up on the roof, and this little panel here monitors the solar panel and controls the charge on the battery. And we have a deep cycle battery out front, and right now the panel, I have a 100-watt panel on there, and it's producing 14.4 volts, and the battery indication is it's totally charged up. And right now we are running the refrigerator. This refrigerator here is running in the back. You might be able to see back here, there's a 1200-watt inverter back there, and that guy is running off the battery and keeping the refrigerator working beautifully. It's been running all day, and every once in a while the refrigerator kicks in, it charges it right up, and the solar panel puts the power back into it really quick and easy. I also, what I did with the solar panel things was I made a set of connectors for the solar panel hanging down, and the reason for that is that if we're someplace in the shade and the panel that's up on the roof there can't see any sun, I can put a panel out into the sun, and two panels with some sun will have no problems. We'll always have some power coming in. Worst case scenario, we have to run the Honda generator. I got my remote. Most important thing, looking at it from this side, you can see TV, microwave, refrigerator. All our storage is underneath the bench. We got two big bins, his and hers, and then my miscellaneous batteries and stuff that I like. There's things you need, things when you're camping that you need. And here you get a good shot of this guy. And that plug there, I got it running a little radio, but I also have a plug that I can plug in there. It gives me two more USBs. And then we hooked up all these little hooks back there, and obviously we got the fire alarm there, and she's got these hooks back there for the hats and things, and we put the bigger hooks for the bigger, heavier clothes. We made sure it doesn't cover up the air conditioner, though you can't see it back there. There's an air conditioner there. Right now we're packing and getting ready to roll out of here for Texas, so it's going to be a little bit crowded in here until we get everything sorted out and organized. I've got my extra solar panel back here. It's leaning behind this little couch and bed that my wife uses, and it's perfect. It goes right against the wall, and when we need it we can pull it out, no problem. The windows, we probably could do some more, but I got the molding up on that. It looks fairly good. I'm not unhappy with that. Out front here, you can see that's what it looks like there, and on our side right now the back door is open, but that's good. You can get an idea of what it looks like. And over here, I got this from Harbor Freight. I bought a deep cycle battery, 12 volt. It's got it's 100 and I think 115 amp hours on it for a deep cycle. And what we need for levelers and rollers and everything, and our hookups, so we can hook up to the grid when we get there. Because we're pretty economical here, I got this 3-pronger, so one will run the trailer, and then I have 2 more if we make our coffee pot outside, coffee maker, or if she wants to run the electric grill or something, we can run it that way too. Down here, little extra compartment. I got my flat pan in there for cooking, but I also have a kettle, an cast iron kettle that I put down there, and adds weight to the front, and it's great if you want to cook something in the fire. It'll do it up real nice. Just got an extra cord available. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not. It's a 15 amp 25-foot cord, which that one is the same, but I like this one better because it has 3 prongs. And you always, when you leave, you always make sure you go down to Harbor Freight and you pick up one of these guys, because a lot of the RV parks, they only have 30 amp service. That's a 30 amp service, and the other end of that allows me to tap in. If they got a 20 amp service, I don't have to worry about it, but a lot of them don't. So you make sure you have one of those in your toolbox. So there you have it. You got a good idea of what we're going to be doing. We'll talk to you when we're on the road.